we hop on the game. I'm hopping on Astrobot. But it's convenient that we got a lot of Sony news. And the last couple of weeks, I've been wanting to get back on my Astrobot grind and finish up all the other extra levels that I ain't get to touch around. But recently, it has come to my attention that apparently, hold on, because I need to sad music for this. I need sadder music for this. The console wars are over. I repeat, the console wars are over. Xbox doesn't have any exclusives, and they haven't for 2 whole gaming generations. The Xbox, well, actually, technically, Sunset Overdrive was never ported in. That's really because of a rights issue. But for basically 2 whole generations, Xbox hasn't had a single exclusive. PlayStation this whole generation, and probably the last, hasn't had an exclusive. And we know damn well. Well, actually, PC has out there amount of exclusives, and Nintendo would rather cause Fallout 5 than fucking drop a game on PC. And it's to the point to where they don't even want to drop games on multiple platforms. They don't want to drop shit on a handheld and then drop a console version or drop a handheld version of a console game. They just said, fuck it, combine everything. So they don't count. And then most PC exclusives are really just more so like indie studios that can't afford to put their game on console. But as for the 2 big consoles, they're no longer putting their games on just their console and not the op side. We got Xbox games on PlayStation, and we got PlayStation games on Xbox. And the crazy part is, no fucking body has an Xbox. So when the Xbox games come over to PlayStation niggas buy the game. When the PlayStation games come to PlayStation, no fucking body buys it. Bro, at the second that bitch hit PC, remember Kofi Kingston? That's the sales. The sales Kofi Kingston. As soon as they hit PC. Woo! Woo! This shit is crazy to see. Now, to be fair, I'm not someone who believes in the console wars in terms of really calling people out their name or insulting people or saying that one piece of plastic deserves my loyalty. The only part of it I like is the fact that there is still competition in the space. Because if you really think about it, nobody wants a world where Xbox and Sony aren't making consoles anymore. Whether it be because you have a dumbass amount of loyalty or because you simply realize that competition is a good thing in capitalism at every level. One second. Buddy, come here. Hey, come here. It's good at every level because it makes it so that nobody gets lazy. You seen what happened the other day when I showed that 2K game, how the NBA 2K Take-Two Interactive, they're trying to now invest in making a college basketball game because they see that EA had a successful college football game and now they're trying to get into college basketball. So they're saying we're trying to beat you to the punch and make a college basketball game before you. Now people who was complaining 2 months ago, there's not enough variety in the basketball game scene. Y'all about to get 2 college basketball games so y'all can see which one is better. You know what caused that? Competition. But let's read on and see if there's any more details about this, because I feel like this is pretty much a cut and dry. No. You can put my door. Just push the fan in a little bit. No. No. Sit. Sit. Right here. Down. Good boy. But yeah, let's read into this article and see if there's anything more. No, because you keep trying to get up. No. Sony has long held a reputation for being protective of its ecosystem, at least when it comes to cross-platform gaming. For years, the company was fixated on its standpoint regarding cross-platform integration, giving PlayStation a lion's share of widely popular titles available only via the PlayStation. And I remember with the PlayStation, this music can kind of end now. With the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4, one of the biggest reasons to have those platforms is if you wanted to play any type of Japanese exclusive games, they were probably only on PlayStation. Like, if you're into any type of JRPGs, ARPGs, stuff like that, that was Japan exclusive or Japan focused, guess what platform they dropped on exclusively? That wasn't region locked. That's right, the PlayStation. Wait. No. I say, back over. Nope, down. 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 Thank you. Alright, unlike competitors, Nintendo, what the fuck? Sony was slow to pick up on cross-platform gaming. What cross-platform game does Nintendo have? Every game Nintendo releases, they drop it on one platform and it stays there. Sony was slow to pick up on cross-platform gaming, thereby limiting players across different platforms for connecting and playing together. Yeah, they were the last of the big three. I'll give you that. Oh, actually, no. They're the second of the big three. And again, they might as well be the last of the big three because Nintendo would never do that shit. Thereby limiting players across different platforms from connecting and playing together. Titles like Fork Knife and Rocket League struggled with cross-play functionality on PlayStation due to Sony's initial lack of support. That is a fact. So for those of y'all, okay, now I know what they're talking about. For those of y'all who are like more new to paying attention to gaming news and whatnot, yeah, Sony used to give Xbox trouble about crossplay. So your games before, usually if they had crossplay, had to choose between crossplay with PlayStation and PC or crossplay with Xbox and PC. Now it's just becoming a thing where, well, not just becoming, but it's a new recent thing where games are being crossplay between all platforms, PC, Xbox, PlayStation, even mobile. Nowadays, things are crossplay too, even a previous generation. The title seems to be shifting though, with Sony posting a job listing that has the gaming world buzzing and simultaneously initiating debates. Excuse me. The role in question, Senior Director of Multi-Platform and Account Manager, and the job requires reporting to the VP of blah blah blah. The move suggests a significant shift in PlayStation's future strategy, a shift that we've already been seeing. This console generation, we literally only have one PlayStation exclusive, and that's Astrobot. And I don't think Astrobot will ever come over to PC. And if it does, maybe it'll get some fucking sales, and people will stop saying, "Why did Astrobot win Game of the Year? You didn't play it, so shut the fuck up." The role in question, Senior Director, blah blah blah. The move suggests a significant shift, blah blah blah. I read that. Hasn't made any official announcement. The job description speaks for itself, and fans are wondering whether the platform is veering towards multi-platform incorporation akin to Xbox. No. I think they'll keep releasing their games multi-platform, but they won't really have it the same way Xbox does, because Xbox is part of Microsoft, and Microsoft is Windows, and most PC gaming, the majority of PC gaming is Windows, Linux, then Mac, and very last for people who have no other options and they're batshit crazy, or they're a little kid just trying to play games on whatever they got. Mac is the last option after Windows and Linux, in that order. So being that Microsoft works with the people who make the software that most gaming devices, whether it be a PC or like a portable handheld, or whether it be like somebody making their own little Steam machine type situation, most of that stuff runs on Windows or variations of Windows and shit. So for Microsoft to port their games to PC 10 times easier than Xbox, I mean, for Xbox to port their games to PC, which is basically run by Microsoft gaming wise, it is 100 times easier than PlayStation Because PlayStation has to figure out how Windows work. Xbox, they could just go 2 doors down, knock on the door of the fucking coders that work on Windows and be like, yo, my game not running right on this on Windows. Why is that? And they'll be like, oh, I got you, and give them the solution right then and there. While the company hasn't made any official announcement, blah, 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 the person in charge will be responsible for shaping and executing a global commercial strategy for PlayStation Studios titles across all digital platforms beyond the PlayStation ecosystem. The platforms mentioned include Steam, Epic Games Store, Xbox, and Nintendo, as well as mobile. A lineup that has incited major speculations. Oh, I can't wait to see The Last of Us go to Nintendo. That's gonna be fucking hilarious. You ever wanted to play The Last of Us at 7 frames per second? Well, here at PlayStation, we got you. Because if there's one thing we don't know how to do, it's stop releasing the fucking Last of Us over and over again. The role outlines responsibilities like optimizing profitability, blah, 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 a bunch of business shit. The fact that the job description mentions Xbox and Nintendo has created a cloud of uncertainty. What the fuck? Cloud of uncertainty if PlayStation's exclusives may no longer remain exclusive in the long run? I'm not gonna lie. Money-wise, hell no. See, what we gotta realize collectively as a gaming community, and like, I'm not specifically talking to the people who are likely watching this video. I'm talking about like the greater gaming community. We need to get these people to realize that gaming is at its all-time greediest, right? Because gaming is the biggest medium of art, the most profitable medium of art in the world right now. It's no longer the thing that those loser weirdo nerds that just sit in a fucking corner and be weird and talk about all day, and they're in the corner going acting out scenes from games like fucking weirdos. No, gaming is something that now the average nigga is doing. Now, not so much hardcore gaming, but some level of gaming to where it's like you could decently, generally consider them a gamer. Those are the niggas I'm talking about. We gotta get them to understand how fucking greedy these companies are, because companies will only do what you allow, and that's anything in life. Like, even when dealing with other people, dealing with corporations, your boss at work, whatever, kids, dogs, anything. People will only do what you allow. If we tell them we don't like $80 games, if we tell them we don't like this game, we don't like that game, but they do like Neil Druckmann, and they say, well, y'all say y'all don't want us to keep releasing The Last of Us, but here on our books, it says that you love us releasing The Last of Us. Here on our books, it says that the last release we did sold 100 million. Now, 100,000 people were online complaining, but 100 million people brought the game. I think we're gonna make another one. I think we should make another one. Everybody agree? Everybody on staff agree? All right. Chop, let's get to it. So we gotta collectively stop buying this bullshit. That's why, for example, NBA 2K is run rampant with funky ass microtransactions. For the simple fact that, yeah, niggas keep buying them, so they still exist. Same thing with all this shit. The reason why they're putting their games on other platforms is because game companies like the Nintendos, the Xboxes, they never made money selling you a console. They made their money back selling you the games for the console. That's why if you do even the littlest bit of research, you'll find out that most game consoles barely are profitable. Like, if it costs $500 to make this console, they'll sell it at like $550. So that initially at the beginning, when they're not gonna be selling too many consoles, they're losing money, because again, it costs $500 to make this console. In 2-3 years, it's gonna cost 300, 100. You know, it's gonna go down. But at the beginning, you're gonna have to eat a lot of the cost, eat a lot of the L at the beginning. So they're trying anything they can to recuperate to make their money back. That's why they're charging these unnecessarily high prices for games. There's no reason for these game prices to fucking raise other than shoulder shrug. niggas gonna buy it. So fuck it, why not? Like, let's not forget about, I believe I read that like a week ago. I read it some time ago, but there's an article. No, actually, I don't know if I read that on stream. I might have read that in my personal time. But there's an article about an EA exec. Let me see if I can find it. EA. No, not Quest, Age. They will... Where? There we go. No. Dragon Age. Where the fuck was it? EA. Here's just better if it was. I can't find the fucking article. But there was an article I seen some time ago where one of the head people at EA basically said that they didn't give a fuck about how Dragon Age launched, because they was like, doesn't matter if the game launches fucked up or whatever, they're gonna buy it anyway. RPG nerds are gonna buy whatever the fuck we give them. So it's like shit like that, we gotta stop buying this bullshit. Don't stop supporting games you like though. Don't use that as an excuse to play less games. I'm just saying, support the fucking art form. Stop buying 2K VC. Matter of fact, stop buying 2K. Matter of fact, get the fuck off the servers, even if it's free. You go over to your friend's house and he asks you to play 2K, say no, fuck you. What other games you got? While this could simply point towards live service titles and previously released games, the inclusion of terms like multi-platform expansion and the added security surrounding future plans have fans questioning whether flagship single-player titles might also follow this path. Yeah, Helldivers was already, like they're saying right here, Helldivers is already on Xbox, so why wouldn't they port their other There's money to be made. They're a business. They don't give a fuck about you in your console wars. They give a fuck about how much money they make. I always say, I don't give a fuck about the console wars because I'm gonna get everything, but I want there to be as much competition as possible. And right now, hardware wise, there's no real purpose for competition. And niggas can buy pre-builts now. Now you don't have to buy your own PC. And PC is a platform where people who actually play games are all at. The people who actually buy games and support the fucking art form are most likely on PC because it's the best value console. Like if you playing games on PlayStation, probably a casual gamer 9 times out of 10. Just take a second to think about it. The move comes right after Helldivers 2 was announced for Xbox Series X, which many viewed as a possible turning point for Sony's multi-plat strategy. Once known for Sony's commitment to console exclusivity, which ain't working anymore, they may now be warming up to the idea of reaching players beyond their own platforms because they want to make money. They got boards to appease, people to play. They may now blah, 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 blah. As PlayStation looks to broaden its horizons, the listing comes off as a major breakthrough, suggesting cross-platform integration may be more accessible than it has ever been. How much is this? Okay, it's not that much. The reaction from the community has been mixed. Some fans are drawn to the idea of greater accessibility. While I do like the idea of accessibility, I feel like the idea of keeping and holding games behind a wall of, if you don't have our system, you can't play. Like, it may feel bad, like when you're a little kid and you want to play all the games and you can't because you brought the wrong console and you have limited money, or even if you're not a kid, you're just somebody with responsibility and limited money, you got to choose one console or the other, and there's different exclusives. Like, it sucks in that situation, but for the business of gaming, I think Xbox should still have games that don't come over to PlayStation and vice versa. Now, I don't care which piece of plastic they're on, but I would like them to be locked towards different pieces of plastic because, like I said, I like competition. What the future holds for PlayStation is an interesting discussion to be had. Whether this signals the beginning of a more multi-platform friendly era or whatever is a dilemma for the average fan. No, it's not. Nigga, we all eating anyway. This and another article I have pulled up is apparently there's somebody who, according to the gamer, is an insider that's saying don't get carried away. Let's read the quote. First off, I want to see what his qualifications are. Excuse me. Many took that to mean a past, present, blah, blah, blah. Over on Reset Era, in a discussion of recent news, Shinobi, blah, 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 a frequent commenter on games-related developments and person involved with the industry, said, people getting really carried away with it, with that job list. I've heard this name before, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. We're checking our sources, people. Oh yeah, it is the okay. I'm familiar with this account. His word is valid. Let's see what he said though. People are really getting carried away with that job listing, which is true. I still think it's probably safe to assume Sony is thawing a bit on hardline exclusivity. GASS. Oh, games as a service games coming later to Xbox if they make sense. More stuff like Lego Horizon, smaller spin-off games can come to Switch, etc. To which they responded, yes, those type things. So basically he's saying they're not going to put The Last of Us on Xbox. They're going to put like shit like Horizon Zero, where it's like, this game is going to sell 2 fucking copies if we make it exclusive to our platform. That makes sense. But he's saying the real bangers will stay on PlayStation. I was going to read into this, but I kind of don't give a fuck. Other than saying like, hey, niggas is gatekeeping game mechanics. Now, while in this case, it is a little bit more justified, I also gotta say, I don't think it's good that niggas can sue over ideas. Niggas feeling comfortable to sue over vague ideas. Like that to me just feels fucked up. It feels wrong. I don't know that. Y'all can feel however y'all want to feel about that. I'm just saying that's how I feel. Now this one. Dying Light the Beast is abandoning a key selling point of Dying Light 2. Now, I'm not no fucking genius, but Dying Light 2 sold like shit. So maybe abandoning some of the key selling points may make sense. But let's see what selling point they talking about. Since Dying Light's announcement, fans have been speculating about bold moves from developer Techland. The new installment looks and feels like a step in a fresh direction, blah blah blah, nigga, what's the feature? Dying Light the Beast will end the canon, non-canon debates for good. Alright, so for those of you who didn't beat the Dying Light 1, at the end of Dying Light 1, the ending for that is completely 100% canon. It's the DLC Dying Light the Following that has 3 endings that some people debate which one is canon and which one is non-canon. Apparently for a long time it's been agreed that, skip a little bit forward if you don't want to know, but the main character Brecken, for a long time there's been a lot of evidence that made it so that it's universally agreed Brecken did become the whatever the super zombies are called. It's commonly agreed that he became one of those and that he left the safe zone and he was the one who spread the virus beyond the safe zone. And Dying Light the Beast, it looks like he's gonna be able to control the beast, but we'll see how that is when it gets into the game. But if they're ditching that and that's supposed to be the selling point of 2, I don't know about that one. Smegma believes giving players choices comes with a big responsibility, as it often falls on the developer to decide which events are canon and which are not. Or you could pull a Fallout type maneuver and just do different stories in different settings. He points out to the Gears 5 ending as an example of the dilemma that can arise from alternative plot conclusions. By continuing with a sequel that only canonizes one of the endings, you're somewhat disregarding the decision that half the player base made. True. Because look at The Last of Us, where some people, I always say The Last of Us instead of The Walking Dead. Telltale's The Walking Dead. That's one complaint that some people have, that in certain moments of the game, you make decisions that seem pivotal that really aren't that pivotal. And it's like that meme where somebody's looking at the 2 pathways where it's the illusion of choice and they all come with the same result. Stuff like that. Or either that or the illusion of choice of, if you went that way and chose that decision, doesn't fucking matter because it wasn't canon. Fuck you and the ending you got. And unless you're a person that replays games or watches YouTube gameplays, you're just going to be lost on the story carrying over from game to game. It's very rare that something like Mass Effect, where and your first things that you do in your first hour of the game affect things that you do in your 100 hour of the 3rd game. Maybe even the 4th, but I don't know if Andromeda connects to all the other Mass Effect games. I continue with a sequel that blah 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 blah. He said it's worth noting that Dying Light's own ending has sparked ongoing debates. Sparked, nigga, it is a debate. Oh, it isn't a debate. Like, it's pretty clear which ending it was. Based on Smegma's recent claims, it appears that Dying Light is aiming to unify its timeline, establish one true storyline, and move forward with linear single-player campaigns. Please. For some, that's a bold move that can make or break future installments. After all, it introduces a new version of protagonists like Kyle Crane. Oh wait, was the nigga Kyle Crane or Brecken? Whatever the main character was, it might be Kyle Crane. One that's no longer malleable and has to stick to his path. Started this instance off with a conjunction where you could have just said, it could also be just what the franchise needs, helping it appeal to a broader audience as a linear story-driven FPS. Which I do agree with. I do agree with this. I don't think I have to read this last paragraph, but I do agree. It's kind of crazy to canonize one of those. I was gonna read this, but I just remembered I don't give a fuck about that. And for the last little portion of the stream, we are going to watch this Eyes of Wakanda trailer, and we're gonna watch the damn Battle Beast trailer. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's see what the Eyes of Wakanda is showing us. Already don't like this art style.
Many secrets.
Ryan Coogler in it. Because when it comes to Ryan Coogler's work, I love Sinners, but I fucking hate Black Panther. Like I hate Black Panther with a passion, bro.
And me sent out across the world to do the missions that Wakanda does not want known.
Oh, so like they Wakanda assassins. It's a side story.
Secrecy is essential to Wakanda security. Be a ghost.
Oh, niggas pulling up in a Predator fit. Oh, that's Friday. Another Black Excellence show I gotta watch. Still ain't finished. Fuck, what's the name of that show? Anayu. I still ain't finished Anayu, bro. It's not even the show is bad. I just like to take my time with it. Okay, 4 episodes. You know they finna be an hour and 30 minutes every episode. I just can't stand this art style, bro. I really can't. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna have to watch this with somebody else to get through it, because this art style is, oh my god, this shit is so ugly. And this is coming from a person who prefers anything animated. So if I don't like an art style, that means it's truly fucking abhorrent. I don't know. I may not be watching this August 1st. Well, I know I'm not watching it on the day August 1st because that's Evo Day. That's Evo Day 1. I'm definitely not watching nothing else over Evo. Nigga, this week, Friday and Saturday, don't ask me for shit. Don't ask me for a motherfucking thing. And this Battle Beast trailer, low-key, I want to make it its own video.